Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Mixed Bag Radio. This is Pete Fornatale at SIR Studios in New York City, and this week it's part 2 of our visit with Carly Simon. We're going to pick up exactly where we left off with Carly's 1972 hit, Anticipation, on Mixed Bag Radio. Writers tell me all the time that the ones that come in a flash are often the best.
Sometimes not. But I mean, yes, definitely that song is amazing. And I do a completely new version of it now, which makes everybody cry. It's completely different. It's completely different.
Memory test number 2.
Yeah.
I hope this is a pleasant memory for you because it is such a one for me, but we'll see. You and James marry on a Friday night in November of 72. The news breaks on Saturday, and I do a program at NEWFM on Sunday from 4 to 8. And the last hour of the show was always connected to something happening in the news. So for the last hour that Sunday, I alternate James Taylor songs and Carly Simon songs. Midway through the hour, the inside line rings, and it is yourself thanking me for playing your and James's music. Now, the first thought in my mind is, wait a minute, they're on their honeymoon and they're listening to me. What's wrong with this picture? That was number 1. At that point, we had met, but I hadn't met James, and you put him on the phone. And we spoke for a couple of minutes, and I said, spontaneously as one could on FM radio in those days, James, do you have a request? Is there something you would like to hear? He pauses for a moment, thinks about it, and then asks me for a song to play. Do you remember?
No.
Okay. Ray Charles' version of Makin' Whoopee.
Which is what he sang on stage just before he announced our marriage at Radio City Music Hall on that night, because right after that he sang, he said, I'd like to introduce to you somebody that I just got married to, and you might know her, and I'd like to bring her out now, and her name is Carly Simon. That was just after he had sang Makin' Whoopee on stage. And
the beauty of those days was that I was able to turn around to an alphabetical wall of records, find Ray Charles, put it on the turntable, and play it for you guys.
God!
Amazing times.
Oh. Bring them back, please.
All right, thank you. That's what we show.
Bring them. How can we bring them back? What can we do?
I think about that very often, a lot of the time.
Well, we have to, in the first place, we have to eliminate 9/10 of all the artists.
That's like Shakespeare. Kill all the lawyers.
Kill all the lawyers. Eliminate the artists, and just, I mean, things like American Idol. I don't understand. I just don't understand. It's not that I don't think that there's a lot of talent, but the format of the show, to have the loser, the person who's being kicked off, have to sing a song with tears coming down his or her eyes, while all of the winners are backing her up, while she's crying and having to hit these high notes, and everybody's applauding her loss, and it's eerie. It's eerie and it's sadistic.
The image that I've been using lately is that the era that we're talking about, blades of grass grew up through the concrete. Now it's concrete being once again splattered over the blades of grass. It's so corporate and so packaged. There's nothing organic about it at all. And, as someone who has delighted in discovering talent all of these years, I just don't like handed to me on a silver platter. This is the talent that will dominate radio for 6 months.
Well, the other thing, Pete, that I think is, of course, and we could talk for ages about what are the components that have gone into this transition, this painful to me transition. But one thing is that all of these very young singers are taking vocal lessons from the same teacher, and they're all they all kind of sound alike, because they're all. In my generation, nobody took vocal lessons, and so it was this kind of natural sound of it was sort of the way we talked that came across when we sang. And I still have not taken a vocal lesson, and it's not that I'm proud of that, but it's a naturalness that my mother told me. She said, "Don't ever change it. You're so natural the way you sing. Everybody can tell it's you." And so the distinguishability is what was so notable. Think of Randy Newman. Think of Neil Young.
Right, unique voices.
If they'd gone to singing teachers, it would have been batted out of them, and they would have all been able to hit these high Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston notes, and been, had these strong. It flattens it all out for me.
I also think it's a substance issue. The content of what is being sung about meant something to us socially in a way that I'm not hearing at all, particularly from the winners on that particular show. It's light, fluffy, disposable pop. People are still singing songs from your first and second and third and fourth albums. I don't think that will be the case for any of these artists when a similar amount of time goes by in the future. That is for someone else to judge ultimately, but that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, how can... I always feel like just an old codger when I'm saying these things. But I just think that there has to be something wrong when the loser has to be seen live on television crying and singing. I'm sorry. There's something wrong.
Manipulative, mean-spirited on some level. You're absolutely right. Mean-spirited.
But let me say something else. That when Brooke White sang "You're So Vain" on American Idol, I was completely thrilled, and I thought she did it great. And I don't think I've ever been able to sing it so well. I can, I've got my own version, but in terms of her singing, I think she did a really, really good job. And I do think that there was a little bit of individuality that was, that crept in.
Why is "Clouds in My Coffee" such a controversial line?
Well, I don't think of it as I don't think it's important enough to be controversial. But it's I think it's a very it's just an evocative line. It's actually a line that Billy Murnett, speaking of Billy Murnett, was the person who kind of pointed it out. He said we were on a plane together flying to Los Angeles to do a gig, and he said, "Look at the clouds in your coffee." Because the clouds were kind of being mirrored in the surface of my coffee. I think Starbucks will actually like that line a lot.
I don't think it was controversial, obviously, in the sense of the controversy was that some people love it. I'm one of those, and others just either dismiss it as a cliche and it just was one element of such a great song that has meant so much to so many people for so long. Of all of the things to focus in on about it, why "Clouds in My Coffee"? Never got that.
I don't know. I named I did a big Arista collection, a 3 CD box set, which I called "Clouds in My Coffee." So I obviously have no trouble with it.
On your first visit to this program many years ago, you told me and everyone listening who the song was about. So when I hear these controversies about who it was about, I know you said on that visit, it's Winston Churchill. And so I have accepted that all of these years and have no problem at all with any of the other speculations.
No, I never lie to you, Pete.
Carly Simon's monster #1 single in 1972, You're So Vain. More with
You're
Carly
listening to
in
Mixed
just
Bag
1 minute.
Radio on 90.7 FM WFUV in New York.
Pete Fornatale back with you on Mixed Bag Radio with my guest Carly Simon, whose latest CD is called This Kind of Love. We resume our conversation with a discussion about one of Carly's favorite subjects. You have written so many songs about relationships. There are a number on the new album. Do you have a favorite?
Songs about well, the song that I think singing the song called Hold Out Your Heart, which is a song about my children and to my children, and I address them both individually. I say, "Oh my boy, what have you done?" And then the second verse is, "Oh my girl, what have you done?" And it's about Ben and Sally, and it's very specific, and that is the one on this album that I treasure, I think, above all the others.
Let's listen on Mixed Bag Radio. Hold Out Your Heart from Carly Simon's new CD, This Kind of Love, on Hear Music. My favorite on the album, Carly, is They Just Want You to Be There.
Also about my kids.
I thought you would say that. I kind of knew you would say that. I just wanted to hear it from you.
It would either be kids or pets.
Well, the thought does go through your mind. Absolutely.
Right. No, it's about my kids all through their lives. When they were infants, of course, they just want you to be there. When they're 2, they just want you. All through life, even when they leave you, even when they go away and they have to, and they also return. During all of the vicissitudes of life that come to them, they just want you to be there.